Good afternoon, bon après-midi, guten Nachmittag, buongiorno. This is indeed the press conference of the launch of the OQI. Thank you for being so many today. My name is Daria Robinson. I'm the Deputy CEO of GESDA and the Solution Accelerator, in charge of the Solution Accelerator, and we have the opportunity today to have quite a number of guests, so thank you for all coming here. There will be a second press conference after this one. There will be a 15-minute break in the same room for those of you who can stay for Federal Counsel Cassis to share the situation in the Middle East. So now on to a very important topic of that we've all been there. Probably many of you have been there today already, and I will first, of course, give the floor to our Federal Counsel Cassis to share again with those of you the vision and the mission behind this initiative of the OQI and behind the initiative of GESDA. May I give you the floor?
Thank you so much, Madam. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the CERN on behalf of her Director General. No, thank you for being here today. It is the third summit of the GESDA Foundation, and the summit is one of the product of this foundation. The other one is the radar, the Science Breakthrough Radar, and the radar is the results of a cooperative work of hundreds of scientists all over the world. They look at what happens today in the laboratories, and they try to find out what is coming up for our daily business, for our daily life in the future, in the near future, in 5 years, in the middle future, in 10 years, and in the long distance future, 25 years. One of these disruptive technology who will impact decisively our life is the quantum sciences and quantum technology. And since this issue was a central one, the Foundation decided, with the support of the Confederation and the cantonal state of Geneva, to focus on this aspect and to elaborate a concrete proposal how to deal with this revolution that is coming up. And the answer was Open Quantum Institute, and that is what it is about during this third GESDA summit. Thus, in order to have the big overview about the situation, we are speaking about science diplomacy, which is one of the most promising cooperation we have at the beginning of this 21st century, and it is also one asset to reinforce, to empower the international Geneva in the 21st century. I will stop here just as short introduction.
Thank you very much, Federal Counsel. Then I would like to ask our State Councillor, Mrs. Fontanet, to say a few words.
Thank you very much. Just to say that as a Canton of Geneva, we are very proud to have participated and to have been the founder of GESDA. We believe that today's, the 3 days that we've just had and the start of this quantum is something very, very specific, very precious. It's an opportunity for the canton. It's an opportunity for our future also. We believe as the canton that today in politics and in conflicts, we see that it is difficult to go together in multilateralism, and we believe that this initiative will be a way to build together with science and diplomacy our future and to find new solutions, in particular concerning the SDG and other solutions. We also already have some cooperation between GESDA, the CERN, and the quantum, with a particular ONG that are already here in the canton. And we are very happy of this new project.
Thank you. Indeed, Geneva was a key to this quantum initiative. If it had been somewhere else, we would have had a lot more difficulty bringing all these global actor on such a geopolitical topic. So this was very, very an important piece. So with the launch of an OQI, there's always after launch, there's a landing needed. And it's indeed quite an amazing chance that we have that this landing can be here at CERN. And Director General of CERN, Fabiola Gianotti, please.
Thank you. Does it work? Yes. Thank you, Daria. And first of all, I would like to welcome you all here at CERN, in particular in this brand new iconic building, the Science Gateway, that we inaugurated on Saturday. It's a new center facility for scientific education and outreach targeting the general public. And we hope with the Science Gateway to really expand the opportunities that we offer to people from all over the world and all ages to come and visit and see the importance of science and of science for society. CERN has been a partner of GESDA since the beginning, and we share common values and common objectives, like the importance of science and technology for a sustainable future of humanity and of the planet, the importance of sharing science and technology with everybody, the importance of having all people on board, also people from underprivileged countries, in order to avoid the current gap that we experience across the world, the importance of open science and open technology. And so we are particularly proud that the first implementation of GESDA, the Open Quantum Institute, is now being hosted here at CERN. We are going to work, of course, in collaboration with UBS, with GESDA, and with all the partners to make it successful. And as I was saying before, also, my ambition is for the OQI to become a kind of reference template for future initiatives in the field of science diplomacy. Thanks.
Thank you, Fabiola. And indeed, we cannot make this happen without the partnerships with the private sector. And we have been, and it's quite an honor to have the UBS part of this initiative. And so, Mr. Bloom, please.
Yes. So, the CEO of a well-known competitor of us some years back said our bank is a tech company. At UBS, we would very likely say clients first, but then technology comes very quickly after that. And when we were getting familiar with the concept of the OQI in GESDA, we had not needed a long time to decide that this is something we want to support. Based on our commitment to technology, we believe this will be very likely quantum computing, one of the most disrupting technologies in the next years. Based on our commitment to Switzerland, because we think this is really something here going on in Geneva, in Switzerland. And also based on our commitment to society, because this is all aligned, someone said this morning, like an umbrella, a multilateral umbrella, bringing all the efforts in that space under one roof. And that is something we strongly support. That's why we signed a letter of intent, where we committed basically to finance for the foreseeable future, let's say a multi-year trajectory, to help building up this OQI, and I will also take a seat in the advisory board of the OQI.
Thank you very much. And last but not least, just the chairman, Peter Brabeck, who's been getting us to do all this and get all the way to here. Thank you, Peter.
Well, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for your interest to be here. GESDA, as you know, has been incubated itself only 4 years ago. And we are working basically trying to find out what is happening in the laboratories of the world in order to identify which technological breakthroughs, scientific technological breakthroughs, which will have an impact on the development of mankind. And 3 years ago, we identified together with the teams and together with all the partners of GESDA that quantum technology is going to be the technology or one of those technologies which are really changing and will change the way how we will not only compute, the way how we are going to think, how we are going to live. So out of this came clearly a task from the first summit that we had in 2021 to GESDA to think about how we can assure that this technological breakthrough is being for the good of humankind and not only for the good for one or the other of private enterprises or for one of the other of countries, because quantum technology will allow a concentration of power that can be extremely strong and can even widen the already existing digital gap which exists in our society. So how you can prevent this? And the answer was, which we presented last year as a solution idea, was let's create an Open Quantum Institute. And this Open Quantum Institute is not here in order to make development of quantum technology. This will always be done either by private companies or, of course, universities, public institutions, and things like this. But what we are doing, and what we are trying to offer, is to have an institute where people from all over the world, independently from where they are coming, independently whether they are from Africa, Asia, Europe, United States, or whether what the background is, they have the possibility to start to think about how can this new technology being best applied for the big part of humankind. And so if you want it in very simple terms, I mean, Open Quantum Institute should be a place where those who are going to apply, to develop apps afterwards for Quantum Institute can already think today, can already start to work. They will have access to quantum computers even now, although the quantum computers are still very small, but they will have access. We have negotiated with the big private companies that we get access to their quantum computers, and they will be able to start to work now, so that when the technology is ripe and when the really first quantum computers are there, we don't have to start to think what are the issues, what are the possibilities, but what are also the dangers that comes, and that we have already thought in advance what are the regulatory frameworks necessary so that this technology is not falling in the hand of the few, but it's for the use for the big part of the population.
Thank you, thank you. So the floor is now to our audience. Okay, if I can see anybody. All right, on the second row, thank you.
Thank you. Stéphane Bussal, Le Temps newspaper. I have two questions. The first one, during the presentation of the OQI, you talk a lot about openness, but we know what is at stake with quantum computing in terms of in geopolitical terms, but also in commercial terms. How do you think that the big tech companies are going to follow your advice and are going to share what they're working on? That's my first question. The second question is about UBS contribution. Could you tell us the amount of the UBS contribution over the years? Thank you.
Well, the first question, of course, this was what we all had thought at the beginning. We all had thought they have invested already $35 billion in the development of quantum computing. And here we would come and we would tell them, you know what? We want you to share this. And in the beginning, I thought this would be very difficult. The outcome was that all of them were very open, and all of them have been forming part of this open quantum community which we have created. So, to give you one example, the chairman of the commission which is working out this is the responsible for quantum development at Microsoft. So we have the companies, we were able to convince the companies that it's also for their good to be in the beginning part of necessary regulations and not do like what happened, for example, I give you one example which was very close to me, which was the GMO situation. Okay? You had another breakthrough technology, nobody discussed with anybody. I remember the company came into Europe and was so convinced that this is the best thing and thought, we're going to implement it and everybody will applaud. Well, the outcome was that now for almost 30 years we have blocked the technology. I think they also see today. I mean, if you think about social media, now we are starting to regulate. But it's always mostly negative when you start to regulate something, you prohibit something, that if you are participating in the very early part of. And this was the thing which those companies agreed. And this is also the thing which we have heard today, for example, from the different countries and from different governments. This is a unique opportunity that we can start to discuss about the needs and the impact that the new technological breakthrough is going to have, and discuss it before it's a reality. So we can shape the best thing. That's the reason why they participate.
Thank you, Peter.
If I may add to Peter, maybe, I think that the success of the OQI, if the OQI is successful, it will attract many, many companies. We start already with a large number of partners from the private sector, and I'm sure that if we manage to show the impact that the OQI can have on society at large, and that the OQI or similar initiatives can be absolutely crucial to avoiding the digital gap in quantum. We discussed this already several times. More and more companies will join. So for me, being an experimental physicist and being used to work by successive prototypes, I think this is the right way to go, step by step.
On your second question, I want to be a bit vague based on internal policy, but what I can say is that the financial support is strong enough and long enough so that we could kick this off today. And the amount which we agreed with GESDA is exactly what they asked us for. No, sorry.
Gentleman on the first row. First row, thank you.
Thank you, Laurent Siro, for the Swiss Newswire Keystone ATS. So my colleague Stefan Büsser asked the question about the big tech companies, but we can feel already that there is also concern from some ministers. We could hear that this morning, and that there are concerns in terms of peace and security, and some say that quantum might be as important in the 21st century as nuclear weapons in the 20th century. So Federal Chancellor, Switzerland will have another presidency of the Security Council next year in October. So is that, in the past, the Council already addressed some technological questions. So is it something you're going to raise during the presidency next October? And are you going to try to get a general commitment already from the Council and from its members in order to precisely get something in the early parts of the discussion? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the question. Yes, the answer is yes. We already addressed this question, and it was at the very first meeting I chaired of the UN Security Council on May 3rd this year. The title was Trust, How to Build Trust Among Nations. And in this discussion, we also had the technological questions, and in particular, the question of cooperation, science, and diplomacy. And through a lady from London, from the University of London, we also had some inputs about the contribution of new technologies in building trust. You're absolutely right. It is a crucial question, and it will be discussed. I'm convinced we will do the same next October for the second president's month of the 2 years non-membership in the UN Security Council.
The young woman in the front, thank you. And then Philippe.
Natascha Schwien von SRF. Herr Bundesrat, ich erlaube mir die Fragen in Deutsch. Ist das neue Institut ein möglicher Ausweg, weil die Schweiz nicht bei Horizon Europe dabei ist? Und welche Absichten verfolgt die Schweiz damit?
Nein, es ist keine Alternativlösung zum Horizon Europe. Es ist auf eine andere Ebene. Es ist eine komplementäre Lösung. Horizon Europe ist ein Forschungsförderungsprogramm. Hier machen wir nicht Forschung. Hier machen wir eine wie soll ich sagen, eine übergeordnete Dimension, das heißt eine Einordnung, Führung und Gestaltung dessen, was mit der Forschung passiert. Forschung macht das CERN, die machen Forschung und inwieweit sie damit betroffen sind, dann überlasse ich es gern der Generaldirektorin. Aber die Open Quantum Institute, Sie müssen sich überlegen, wir stehen vor einer Revolution. Diese Revolution wird unser Leben unheimlich stark impactieren. Das haben wir schon erlebt. Es ist nicht das neue Mal in der menschlichen Geschichte, dass das passiert. Und diesmal versuchen wir, ein bisschen schneller zu denken, damit wir vielleicht antizipierend etwas einordnen, gewisse Prinzipien festlegen können und nicht im Nachhinein einen Catch-up-Effekt haben müssen, nachdem irgendwie ein paar Katastrophen schon passiert sind. Das ist der Sinn dieses Open Quantum Institute.
Aber die Schweiz versucht sich damit zu positionieren.
Selbstverständlich, ja. Ich habe es in meine einführenden Worte, die Schweiz versucht sich damit weltweit zu positionieren, insbesondere in auch der Charakterisierung des internationalen Genf. Ich kann es vielleicht etwas wirklich kurz zusammenfassen, war das 19. Jahrhundert durch das humanitäre Völkerrecht, die KRK bestimmt, das 20. Jahrhundert durch Menschenrechte und Human Rights Council bestimmt, dann wäre es zu Beginn dieses neue 21. Jahrhunderts die Zusammenarbeit Science und Diplomacy, das Kerngeschäft des internationalen Schweiz.
Merci beaucoup.
Philippe Motta, behind you.
Philippe Motta, the Geneva Observer. I have a question. It's widely expected that one of the very first concrete application of quantum will be completely breaking the crypto system as we know it today, which begs the question of trust and security, indeed. This is of strategic importance for Switzerland as a financial center. And I wonder if you'd like to share your thoughts. First, maybe you as a risk officer for a bank, but as well the political representative on that panel of that very specific impact that quantum can have on crypto and on crypto security for a financial center like Switzerland. Thank you.
Should I ask?
Yes, thank you.
So clearly there is a huge awareness in the risk community among financial institutions across the globe that quantum computing is really disruptive and a real threat if you don't become quantum ready in the way you encrypt your cloud, in the way you protect your data and all of that. And everyone in the risk community in banking is aware of that, is working on it, and will also be ready in time before it really becomes a threat in order to protect our data.
As it was mentioned before by Federal Counsel Cassis, the OQI is not a technical institute. The OQI does not develop quantum technologies. At CERN, we have a quantum technology initiative, and there we develop our quantum activities, and many national laboratories and institutions across the world, and public and private sector institutions develop technology. The Open Quantum Institute is to apply what we know in quantum computing to societal challenges. So food distribution, supply chains, things like that.
Thank you. Another question? There, sorry.
Hi. I'm sure it's a great initiative, which has a bright future, certainly. But actually, and it's anticipatory, but actually now there's much hotter area, which I've discussed here as well. It's artificial intelligence. And personally, I would also expect, maybe for next year, I don't know, because it is very much discussed, governance, etc., that GESDA, and I believe with its network, could provide an added value to the AI. Is it something you're thinking about? And maybe next year we'll hear a press conference and before that an announcement concerning AI. And I have another question. Well, it's great we have UBS, but I would personally expect I don't know, it's great. They don't want to disclose the amount of their participation. But anyway, I would expect, and as you said, Microsoft, one of their chief scientists, is on the board, to have at least technology companies, which are much more advanced, right, than banks, as far as I know, in quantum technology. And also, we're in Geneva, and the University of Geneva was one of the pioneers in quantum technology even 20 years ago. And actually, Madame Fontanet knows that, right, the state has been using quantum technology for voting also a long time ago. So why don't we see here at the table a partner from academia and maybe from business community other than the bank? Well, I'm sure Nestle, your former employers, could be very interested also in that.
I don't think you introduced yourself. May I ask?
Oh, Marat Shagorodsky, Bilan Magazine. Sorry. Thank you.
Well, let me start perhaps from my perspective. First of all, we are working, the community is not limited to one or the other company. As a matter of fact, if you look at the documents, you will see that from the very beginning, there were 12 different countries from the very beginning. Then there were universities, 14 universities all over the world, which are included in this community. And there are people who are coming from NGOs who are in this community, civil society. You have seen, for example, the young people from all over the world who were part of this. So, I mean, this is not because I mentioned one company. It was because to prove and to show that one of the obstacles which we saw and which was mentioned by one of your colleagues, that we could overcome this. Okay? That was the reason why we identified one or the other companies, which are all in the list. It's all transparent. Okay? But we have, of course, included the university, EPFL, it's a strong partner from here, the University of Geneva, ETH, Zurich. I mean, they're all part of this endeavor. So, I mean, this is very clear. The second thing is perhaps about the priority that the Open Quantum Institute should have. And I think we were also there very transparent, and you have heard this also from the ministers. Our first priority is the Sustainable Development Goals. Why we have taken this as a first priority is because, at least to my knowledge, and I think the Director General of the UN was confirming it, it's only one objective setting which has political legitimacy. Okay? Because that's the only, if you are, otherwise you have national interests or things like this, but the Sustainable Development Goals is the only setting which has received the political legitimacy of the UN. And that's the reason why we were using this one as the main guide and main objective for the Open Quantum Institute. I cannot hear you.
Yes, sorry, the microphone. Thank you, Florent.
No, I ask also about artificial intelligence. I believe it's as much part of SDG as quantum computing.
Okay, thank you for reminding me about the second part of it, of artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence, first of all, is not something which we are anticipating. It's something which already exists. Okay? Well, no, because I think in artificial intelligence, as it is today, it's already a factor. We are trying to anticipate. Quantum computing is not existing today. It might exist in 5 years, most probably will exist in 10 years, but we are anticipating things. And GESDA will always work on anticipation. We were demanded in the beginning we should work about digital. There is so much cyber security, cyber attacks, and things like this. And our answer is always the same. There are many other institutions who can take care of this. We are specializing in looking forward, getting the feedback from the scientific community, what they are thinking that their breakthrough will bring in 5 years, 10 years, 25 years. That's what you find in the radar. That's why the radar is so interesting. And then out of those, be identifying 2, 3, 4 solutions for those challenges. So this is what GESDA is all for. It is anticipating, and it is based on solid science. And then it starts to confront with politics and diplomats and things like this to find solutions for the future. That's the way how we're acting. And there are so many other things, but there are also so many other institutions who can take care of all the other issues.
On the other point, maybe Fabiola, on the question regarding Geneva and Quantum's expertise in Geneva, which is very different, it's not around computing. Maybe you want to say a few words?
Yes, so Geneva is clearly a place with strong quantum competencies, not only in quantum computing. Of course, the focus of the OQI is more on quantum computing, but there are also expertise here at CERN and many also the universities here in the Geneva area and beyond in Switzerland on other technologies, quantum technology, like quantum sensor or quantum network, etc. And also those have already, the potential of having disruptive impact on society. But clearly, GESDA cannot, I think in GESDA we want, and I say we because CERN is a partner, we need to start from something concrete. And we cannot really expand on many, many areas. There is an infinite amount of possibilities. The breakthrough radar shows this large amount of possibilities of technologies. We wanted to start with one which is very promising and to prototype it through the Open Quantum Institute. And then, of course, if the Open Quantum Institute is successful, this will become the prototype for many other application of many other technologies.
Yeah, quantum is one dot on our GESDA radar. Quantum computing is one dot on our GESDA radar. So there's indeed the others as well. No? Another question? Okay, front row. Thank you. In front row, Adeline. Oh, there you go. Thank you, Carolina.
Merci. Bonjour, Julien Fonroten, Radio-Télévision Suisse. Je me permets une question en français. Monsieur Cassis, elle est toute simple. Pourquoi est-ce que vous avez jugé important de faire le déplacement et de venir ici aujourd'hui?
Parce que ce que nous voyons, ce que nous avons vécu aujourd'hui, c'est, je dirais, le premier produit concret d'une idée qui a été étudiée pendant, je dirais, 3 ans, qui a été mise en exécution pendant 3 ans et qui aujourd'hui produit. Et ce produit, il est pris en main, il a été accepté par le CERN, ce qui donne au produit un intérêt qu'autrement, si le CERN l'avait refusé, n'aurait pas. Le CERN a une crédibilité mondiale parmi les plus grandes. Donc cela signifie que pour nous, c'était aussi le test, le niveau acceptable de performance du résultat. Et quand je dis nous, c'est qui nous? C'est le canton de Genève, la ville de Genève, la Confédération. Ensemble, nous nous sommes penchés depuis, je dirais, 2015, sur la question comment garantir un futur à la Genève internationale au-delà des thèmes qui sont propres à la Suisse, donc le droit international humanitaire, les droits de l'homme. On n'est plus compétitif, si je m'abuse de ce mot, en ne faisant plus que cela. Il y a d'autres villes, d'autres continents qui réclament davantage d'activités internationales et donc nos clients, si on peut parler de cette manière, sont tentés d'aller là où les coûts peut-être sont inférieurs. Où il y a... Mais ce que nous avons ici, c'est un écosystème juste formidable qui donne une valeur ajoutée. Et si on n'a pas de valeur ajoutée, on perdra d'attractivité. Donc voilà, ça c'est le Conseil fédéral qui se dit comment garantir un futur à la Suisse internationale au travers de la Genève internationale. Après l'idée, j'admets qu'il y a du mien, il y a quelque chose, je suis médecin, donc si j'étais philosophe, probablement j'aurais fait autre chose, mais là, ça m'intéresse énormément. Je suis depuis mon bas âge confronté à qu'est-ce qui se passe avec les nouveautés, qu'est-ce qui se passe quand la médecine a introduit le scan CT ou la résonance magnétique. C'était des révolutions incroyables, ça a ouvert complètement d'autres possibilités. Et là, je suis déjà dans l'application de l'application. Ici, on fait 3 pas en arrière, on est en amont de tout ça. Donc, c'est formidable d'imaginer qu'on challenge, qu'on défie la possibilité d'anticiper l'impact de nouvelles. Jamais l'homme a anticipé les nouvelles révolutions. On parlait hier soir À quoi pourrait-on comparer la révolution qui nous est devant et qui s'appelle révolution des sciences quantiques? Peut-être à la révolution de la presse à Gutenberg, à la révolution industrielle, etc. On n'avait jamais rien anticipé. Et puis une fois qu'on a eu les problèmes, on a commencé à les résoudre. Aujourd'hui, tout va tellement plus vite. Et si on arrive à réduire le gap temporel entre le moment où la technologie, on l'a vu maintenant avec ChatGPT, au moment où la technologie arrive et puis d'un coup on est en panique, on ne sait pas bien quoi faire, le même inventeur se pose la question, peut-être qu'il fallait y réfléchir avant, et nous avons commencé bien avant à réfléchir là. Là, c'est déjà un problème actuel. Quantum technology, ce n'est pas encore un problème actuel, donc c'est le domaine d'intervention de cette fondation GESDA. C'est la coopération science-diplomatie anticipative. Il y a d'autres coopérations en science-diplomatie, hic et nunc, today, et ici. Là, c'est anticipatif, comme l'a bien expliqué le président de la Fondation. On essaye de faire quelque chose qui est totalement nouveau et de créer une méthode qui, si elle fonctionne, pourra être prototypée pour d'autres problèmes.
Merci. Fabiola, tu avais l'intention de dire quelque chose? Non. Oui, devant, allez-y.
Good morning, Riccardo Bagnaro, Italian Swiss Public Television. I would like to address a question in Italian, if I may. Signor Cassis, direttrice Gianotti, sono dei sogni di anticipazioni che GESDA cerca di mettere insieme per discutere di quello che avverrà. Ecco, i sogni spesso sono incarnati, se non sempre, sono incarnati da persone, dalla realtà. Ora, una cosa che mi ha scioccato, in particolar modo stamane, si è parlato del futuro. Io ho parlato, per esempio, con questa studiosa palestinese che era presente, brillante, che ha avuto anche riscosso molto successo. Mi dovranno perdonare, ma ho fatto una domanda molto semplice: se all'interno della scienza, del dominio della scienza, è disponibile a collaborare con altri scienziati, in caso specifico israeliani, e la risposta è stata categoricamente no. Ora, lo strappo che c'è anche all'interno della scienza, forse già al CERN ci sono stati nel caso dell'Ucraina e della Russia, io mi chiedo, questo progetto multilaterale, importante, futuristico, si pone il problema che tutto intorno l'instabilità e il multilateralismo è altamente minacciato e può minacciare questi progetti?
Grazie.
Solo una frase, poi lascio volentieri la direttrice generale rispondere, perché credo che la miglior risposta sia la creazione del CERN 70 anni fa. Ma stamattina nel mio discorso introduttivo che trova in internet ho proprio posto questa domanda e ho cercato di dare una risposta ponendomi così metaforicamente la domanda: siamo siamo ingenui a fare questa cosa? E ho detto no, non lo siamo, e ho spiegato perché, però lascio subito la direttrice.
Sì, grazie per la domanda, ma ovviamente io penso che iniziative come l'OQI e come il CERN chiaramente sono più che necessarie al mondo d'oggi, appunto in un momento in cui il mondo è caratterizzato da grandi conflitti e da grandi inimicizie. Posti come il CERN sono delle isole di speranza, di hope, trust and d'espoir. E per questo che dobbiamo continuare a sostenerle. Iniziative come l'OQI lavorano in questa direzione, quindi appunto perché siamo in un mondo così difficile e così tartassato, è importante avere iniziative che diano fiducia all'umanità e che diano speranza. Io penso che il CERN sia una di queste istituzioni. Lei parlava della giovane palestinese, che io posso invece darle esempi di palestinesi, israeliani, iraniani che lavorano al CERN senza nessun problema, anche dopo gli attacchi. Quindi c'è bisogno di questo e penso quindi che l'OQI potrà contribuire anche.
Second row, thank you. Third row.
Maurizio Arseni, Geneva Solutions, and I have a question for Director General Gianotti and from President Cassis. And I was wondering if they envision the Open Quantum Institute becoming kind of a quantum oversight authority in few years, not now. Thank you.
I can reply for my part, and of course, Councillor Cassis has also his opinion. We have to be a little bit careful in, first of all, in distinguishing between quantum developments and quantum applications. So, as was said before, the OQI is not developing quantum technology. The OQI is trying to apply the quantum technologies to society, in particular to the challenges that the world is confronted today. I think we need a governance in the development of quantum technologies and in their applications. Whether the OQI one day can play that role, it's a bit premature to establish today. It's clear that one of the goals of the OQI, in particular of the pilot project, is to open the discussion, or continue rather than discussion, because the incubation phase in GESDA has already done a lot on that, on how a healthy governance for the application of quantum technology should be, and what should be. So it can help in continuing the dialogue and in opening the road to the future governance for the application of quantum technologies. It's premature to say today if this will be successful or not. Of course, we are working for success. As I said before, we are pioneers now. We are kind of pioneers or prototyping, and we have to progress step by step.
I try to add a few words, making an example. When you grew up and you are in a you're a teenager, then you learn that asking correctly something, it's already half of the answer. And this is about the Open Quantum Institute. Facing a revolution, facing such a disruptive technology means not knowing what it's going to happen. It's going to go to happen. And if the Open Quantum Institute could help us identifying the correct questions and the responsible institutions to answer the correct questions and bring the correct question to the right places, then we will be successful. The OQI will not replace the United Nations, will not replace the science, will bridge between science and diplomacy at large, diplomacy as politics.
I think that was the perfect word of the end. Thank you, Federal Councillor, and thank you, all of you.